too.
Good stuff.
5 people now.
Hello, people.
People.
We can turn it around and Nick can
Turn on the comments.
have their own.
Can you read that later?
Hello, Globies. Read my shirt.
Exactly.
I can still read it in the mirror.
What about the signs? What about my signs?
Fuck your sign.
And on the back.
How do I turn the camera so I can see what I'm filming? All right, you go. Go. I got this.
You got the filming part?
What happens if I push this little button?
Won't push anything.
It'll film the ass then.
It explodes.
I think it changes the volume.
The volume?
Oh yeah, the volume of the microphone or whatever.
Keep up the good work. Earth is flat. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Are you doing this for subs and likes? Yeah, he's got a whole 18 subs. We need more subs. We got 1 like.
Let me put a sticker up.
Someone gave you a thumbs up. I think that was for me though.
What's that in a hat?
The Earth is flat.
I do not believe you. I'm sorry.
I don't believe in the globe.
I have very heavily.
Can we talk about it for 5 minutes? No? Very heavily, he said.
Very heavily. What does that mean? You stayed up one night?
Just curious as to what your intent is. Our only intent is to plant seeds and make people think for themselves. That's our intent. Question everything. Question all these fake ass globe pictures right there. They're all different. Stop. Come on, NASA, make up your mind. What does Earth really look like? Does it look like 1972, 1997, 2002, 2007? Which one is it? Oh, I like the 2012 one. Look at that one. Look at that one. Tell me that one looks like
Reading material for later? Cool.
or 2002. All bullshit.
We should be dropping these in mailboxes. Reading for later?
Cool.
Sweet.
How come this is out of focus? Marty?
Thought about the nature of reality, man? Cool. You know the government's lying to us?
Let's see how many in a row you can get.
Yeah.
3? 3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Globe believers, wait, are falling backwards at 1,000 miles an hour. When they're watching the sunset, they're falling backwards at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will. Wint James.
Wint James, my man.
Are you filming too?
Yes. I'm not doing a good job though. I'm just filming like.
Can you like pause it when you want to and then
I could.
resume?
I have to redo the audio. I have to. Well,
So
yeah.
you're gonna edit it anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I got enough room on this thing, so I could film all day.
How you doing? Have you ever thought about the shape of the Earth?
Why are you
Cool.
wearing sunglasses?
Oh man, that was hilarious.
Other guy wearing sunglasses.
So why are you wearing sunglasses? This is too cool for school. Too cool for school.
Hello. Have you ever thought about the shape of the Earth?
Government's lying to us, man.
The Earth is
Yeah?
flat. 7 people while you were filming and another like, but
Because they got to see you walking around like, hey, I'm wearing a sandwich thing and selling stuff and whatever. Care about the nature of reality?
No thank you.
Well, some of us do.
I have no proof of that.
What did he say?
What if it's square?
It is square. He's right.
Yeah, in a sense.
You know, it's not a globe.
Have you ever thought about the shape of the earth?
Read, maybe, for later? Cool. Wait, that wasn't in a row. I think I dropped one in a box, but whatever. Let's cross here.
I'm sharing the link there.
For later?
Thanks.
Yep.
Do you guys believe we went to the moon?
We do.
Have you looked into it? There's a really cool documentary on YouTube called "A Funny Thing Happened on Our Way to the Moon." Look it up.
Cool.
Hello. Have you ever thought about the shape of the earth? No. The earth is flat. How did you? Hi. You're laughing now, but have you looked into it?
I can't right now. I'm just laughing because I'm taking this. This is great.
You ever heard of the term cognitive dissonance?
No, we're not good. I have to go, but like, man.
No, it's all right. It's all right. No, seriously, the reason why you're laughing right now and you think it's hilarious is because we've actually been trained to react that way from our government. So if you look into it, you'll see that it's a total programmed response.
And all the other like planets are just randomly around.
There are lights in the sky, actually. You can look at them yourself with a telescope.
Just look at Pluto. There's a dog on it named Pluto.
Yeah.
Hello. Have you ever thought about the shape of the earth?
No, thank you.
The earth is
Of
flat.
reality. Everybody laughs because they don't know they're indoctrinated.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, I know. It's so
Look
silly.
into it. Type in NASA lies on YouTube.
Bubbles in space. Harnessed ISS.
Why are we yelling now? I thought we weren't
Oh, yeah, sorry.
gonna yell.
Sorry. Team captain. Oh, captain, my
That laugh
captain.
triggered me. I'm sorry.
I got triggered.
I got triggered by the laugh.
I caught cognitive dissonance from her cognitive dissonance. Let's go this way. I'm going to talk to these people.
I gotta control mine.
Hey, ladies. Can I give you something to read? Sure. It sounds funny, but, you know, seriously look into it. Now, we assume that we're living on a spinning ball, but if you actually look into it, there's no proof of this at all whatsoever. Aside from what we get from NASA, which can easily be faked, because they're getting, what, 50 million a day, right?
Must be nice.
Yeah, they're making so much money, it's crazy. But here's the thing, you know, Gravity the movie, we've seen that, right? It looks so freaking real, right? Well, their budget was what, like 2 point something million or 3 million? They're getting like 100 times, well, 50 million, 47 million a day, which is like enough to make enough Gravity movies every day of the year for the rest of, you know. So you gotta look into that. And then once you realize that a lot of what we've been taught is indoctrination. Like, we're getting this information when we're old enough and they're telling us that Santa Claus exists and they're telling us that we live on a spinning ball. So we're not really coming at this with a critical mind when we're older. We're just assuming that what they told us is true, you know? And that's the problem with all this, is once you start looking into it from an actual, you know, educated standpoint, and you start breaking down the globe theory, you'll see there's a lot of problems with it, the heliocentric model, that doesn't even make any sense, you know? So definitely, you know, I know you're not gonna believe overnight, and we don't want you to believe that the earth is flat. We want you to know the earth is flat through looking at it yourself. So do your own research. Don't believe what they're telling you on TV, because they want you controlled, you know? Population control, so. Yeah, thanks for being so cool, guys.
Yes. I mean, those things, I thought that was just pretty.
No, it's social media and we can get it out there, the word out there. And I have a P900 camera, so we can see with our cameras when we zoom in way further than we should be able to with what they tell us the Earth curvature is supposed to be.
The longest distance photography record is like 2.7, it's like 207 miles, which is like impossible on a ball. You'd be like looking out into space. So if that is true, then it's the curvature calculations that they gave us is 8 inches per mile square, then that's impossible. Because at 8 inches per mile square should be way below the curve of the horizon. And another thing too is a lot of the proofs that we've received are via NASA and our government and indoctrination through like telling us when we were a kid that the Earth's a spinning ball. But that's around the same time they told us that, you know, Santa Claus was real and all these other things were real. But we found out later those were disproven, except we got the government telling us that nonstop,
Then
you know?
how would the Earth orbit and how would like seasons happen?
Exactly. Right, and we haven't been taught that there are dual systems, right? So
seasons. In the model, the North Pole is here in the center, and Antarctica is not a continent. It's just an icy landmass that goes around the outside, holds all the water in, so there's no edge. And then they really tell us during our summertime, the sun is closer around us and orbiting around us here. And then in the spring and in the fall, it's around the equator, so that's when it's around there. And in our wintertime, it circles around here. So the sun is actually really close. It's just like
Very small.
very small and really close. It's just like
everything's opposite of what they tell us.
yeah.
in the winter, that's where it around the Tropic of Capricorn, and then the summer around the Tropic of Cancer.
Wow.
It's starting to move closer towards us right now.
Think about this too. When you look at the moon, it looks like crystal clear, right? Well, they're telling us that it's hundreds of thousands of miles away, and we know the human eye can't even see that far, and yet we see the moon completely clear, like if it's just right there, you know? So there's a lot that they've been telling us that we just assumed was right, but we didn't realize that there are dual systems that actually work, you know? So it's not just the heliocentric system. That was actually created after. And if you look into it, geocentric has been around since the beginning of time, and it's been proven. I mean, a theodolite would prove it. I mean, theodolites measured where the positions of the stars over hundreds and hundreds of years, and they haven't moved. And yet we're orbiting and spinning and flying through space. We should have different stars every year. We should have different parallax. There should be different distances apart. But yet we see the exact
North
same
Pole
star
is in the
constellations.
exact same spot every night.
Year after year after year after year.
Satanic numbers too, like 666.
Yeah, the Earth's tilt is at 66.6 degrees of an angle. We're moving 6,660 miles, you know, through space. Like there's all these 666s that keep coming up. But if you look into heliocentrism in the pagan worship, they worship Baal, the god of the sun. So what they did is in heliocentrism, they put the sun in the center of our solar system so they can worship Baal. So the whole point was to get us to believe in their religion, to believe in their life, what they want us to believe. But you know, there's so much facts and so much evidence to just disprove it.
And if I use my senses, I see the sun, the moon, and the stars circle around me.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the Earth move. I'm like, if I was driving in a car and I didn't use my senses, I would get in an accident. And then when they're telling me I can't trust my senses when I'm looking up at the sky and I'm seeing the stars move, they're saying that I'm the one that's moving, and I just don't believe, can't believe that.
It doesn't mesh out with
Can I
reality.
take a picture of your board
Sure
for
can.
a science teacher?
Sure.
You want to take it here?
I was going to take it on my phone. This is interesting, yeah.
Now, of course, when you go and talk to your science teacher about it, the first thing he's going to do is laugh, right? Because he's got a lot invested in his career and his life. So if you're telling him that's contradictory to that he's built his entire life around, you're going to get the strongest reaction of cognitive dissonance you can receive. You know, so you got to think also where people are coming from too. So that's why not a lot of people are receptive about this, is because we see the Universal logo spinning, we see, you know, space logos on everything, AT&T, all these companies are using globes, and we just take it as a fact. But we don't realize it's just an indoctrination method. It's by drilling it into our heads on a daily basis, you'll never question it and you'll never think twice about it. So that's what we should be doing. At least doubting the flat Earth and trying to prove that the Earth's a ball, because that's the only way you're going to come to that conclusion that it is a lie. So definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks for being so receptive, guys. Yeah, take it
Have a
easy.
great day.
Poor girls.
No, she came up to us.
Yeah.
No, I'm reading a comment.
I we just gonna
Poor
walk past?
Larry.
Are we gonna walk past these guys? Is that?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. We should get them on board too.
Get beat up now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, nobody's gonna beat us up.
3 flat earthers get beat up.
I'm from Chicago, man. I'll throw down if I have
I'm
to.
from Chicago too. Wait.
Yeah. This would be a perfect example. It'd be like the balls round, but is the court round?
Nick, the ball's round, but is the court round?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry to bother you, but maybe some reading material for later? Cool, for sure.
Earth is flat. They're lying.
It's all government, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the dome.
Yeah.
Dome above. Holding the water.
Oh, but yeah, like the argument, the ball is round, right? But is the court round? You know, just like a pool table. Those balls are round, the table's flat. So round up doesn't mean round below.
There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. Oh, so much more.
Just look into it.
I'll read through it.
Yeah, you got it.
If you guys got a Facebook account, go on Facebook. My page is the Flat Earth Revolution. I post a lot of proofs on there. There's a bunch of people asking to answer.
I'm on YouTube too. I go by Realm Walker. I'm just an artist, man. I'm not like an educated, crazy person. I just do art. I just like showing my shit and promoting the Earth is flat. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, take it easy. Hey, what's up, guys? You thought about the nature of reality? Where we're at? What is this?
Shit, you not just thinking.
Seriously, man. It's real shit. It's real shit. You thought about it?
I can play ODD.
It's all right. So we're not just crazy people here, you know, saying that the Earth is flat, but we've looked into the heliocentric model for years now, and it's obviously a facade. It's fake. And once you start looking into it, there's all these crazy holes that it's like, why would we even believe it in the first place, right? So it sounds crazy, but once you start like kind of breaking it down, shit's fucking even crazier because, well, it's better than religion, right? Because it's saying that don't believe anything, find out for yourself. It's all about truth, not belief. Because we don't want to believe what the government tells us to fucking believe, right? Because the government's bullshit, right? You know what indoctrination is, right? Well, we've been shown the globe ball when we were like, what, 5 years old when we were kids? And were we smart enough at that time to critically think and whether it was a good model or not? We just took their word and they're like, yeah, man, these guys know what they're talking about, right? But we're adults now, so we're looking at it. Doesn't make any sense. So, worth checking out, man. There's a lot of us jumping on board, so. All right, take it easy, man. Thanks for listening anyway. Yeah, don't trip.
He said hit the bars.
Hey, what's up, man? Can I give you this? It's about the nature of a reality. I think it's important, so, yeah.
The Earth is flat. Research it.
We need to do something about it. No procrastination trying to cause the masses to awaken. That's the path I'm taking. But you can see if you check all the percentages. So many people having cognitive dissonance. But that's what happens at the loss of your innocence.
Earth is a hair, everybody knows. Hey,
You guys looked into this at all? The Earth is not a spinning ball in space. It's flat.
Life is just a try in this world ain't what we thought it was. There's solutions to the problem never completed. They deserve no in our world. They won't believe it. I used to wonder what it's like.
which way are we walking? Ever thought about the shape of the Earth? The Earth is flat.
Worth reading, no?
All these awake people that were walking by.
I know.
Hello.
Starting to
Have you thought
yawn.
about the shape of the Earth? Nope.
You guys are screaming away. What do you want?
Okay, you go in the front.
Gravity is our imaginary magic friend. Why is water always flat when unmanipulated?
Yeah, man.
Hello. Have you ever thought about the shape of the Earth? The Earth is flat.
Is it? Are
It
you
is,
sure?
100%.
100?
Yep.
Okay.
The Earth is flat.
I got one.
Yeah? You got a good streak. Yeah! Hold on.
Read it, please.
Don't be scared.
Did I get that one? Good?
You did. I had to like flatten it a little on one side, but you got it.
Space programs that are in operation.
Don't litter.
You want to look into it? We put a lot of proofs in here. Just look into it.
Hours and hours of work. If you read,
You know he's an actor.
well, right? Yeah. Here's proof. Compare this to Tyson and see what you think.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
The indoctrination is thick. You dropped this. Sorry. I think this is yours.
I've walked down this street before.
Yes. Yes. You think about the nature of reality, man?
I don't want to give you two. Unless you have some friends.
He's like, I don't have friends.
have
No,
any
he's got friends.
I'm going to say, last one. Who wants it? Everybody wants the last one. I only have two more left. Thank you.
I want the last one though.
Okay.
Oh, they got one.
The earth is flat.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, laughing.
Funny. Last one.
Have you ever thought about the shape of the earth?
It's flat.
The earth is flat. Yes, it is.
Here's the proof right here.
Oh, I know.
So is this like
Hello,
a...
brother.
I don't get paid to this. I printed this on my own printer with my own money just to get the word out there. I spent like hours putting that together.
Caesar. Take a picture of my shirt. Caesar.
How do you know my name?
Who? How do I know your name?
Yeah, how do you know my name? What's up? I know you.
How do you know me? 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 How do you know me?
He's your dad.
He's your friend from 2 years ago.
Wait, what?
Person. Family.
Wait, what?
Pedro.
What about Pedro? Pedro from Michigan? Wait, stop fucking.
Yeah, I run. Actually, I run. You're Caesar from Parsons, right?
No.
Oh, you're a different Caesar.
Yeah.
What? What are the chances?
I'm a Caesar though.
I don't have any. Oh, then we don't know each other.
And he's also named Caesar.
No, you look exactly like other
Hey, this might explain it, dude. Look into that.
You guys, is the Earth actually flat?
100%, dude.
But how does like gravity and all that play into it?
Well, gravity is technically a theory, right? So it's never been proven or singled out as a force. So we can only obstruct it in a concept with mathematics, with ideas, but we can't prove
I
it.
just dropped this and I'll prove that gravity exists.
You're just proving
Magnet is
density and
heavier than
buoyancy.
the air, denser than the air, so it falls down.
Well, right,
And the
because
ground
force is
stops
pulling
it.
down.
Well, the air is obviously not strong enough to hold it up.
Right, because there's a so what's pulling it down then?
There's nothing holding it.
But why would you need to hold it up?
There's an up and a down. If there's nothing holding it up, it's going to fall down.
Why do things fall down though?
Because there's nothing holding them up.
Well, but so there's a force.
So naturally, everything is at rest and is grounded. Until you lift it up. And that's your force. You're the force. You interacting with the ball. Everything, your interactions are the force. But in its natural state, it is. It
If you
exists.
have a pen, I can like draw a free body diagram and explain how it works.
Right, I understand how the concept works, and that's why we don't believe it, because we actually looked into the concept and it doesn't mash out. So we have to go on a leap of faith and assume that it means that gravity is pulling it down and not the opposite. and not the fact that it's heavier than the air, that it is being pulled. Because we need gravity to think that we're...
Your language
Because they
assumes
use
the existence
gravity
of
in their
gravity.
math.
Well, you
in
assume the
their math
existence of
equations
space
for
and that
that.
up and down don't exist. But we assume that it does exist.
So you're saying that I'm making a bunch of assumptions, but they're wrong.
Exactly.
But your assumptions are right.
Right, because I don't need to create space, and I don't need to create a force to make space real. If it's not real, then I don't need to make it real. You see what I'm saying? Like, the only people who are telling you that space is a thing is NASA and the government, right? So, you think you look up and you see stars, that means space? Well, here's a problem with that. What about parallax? What about stellar parallax? Why is theodolite still relevant after hundreds and hundreds of years? Why do we see the same stars year round if we're hurtling through space at all these different rates in all these different directions?
It's spherical and it rotates.
Yeah, exactly. So we're moving and we're pitching and we're changing angle, angular momentum every second. We're corkscrewing through the universe.
The center of the galaxy, and the galaxy is moving towards the great attractor. We wouldn't see the same stars every night, each night.
It's like the universe is revolving around us. And as a matter of fact, science even has said that. They said that
in the heliocentric model.
Yeah.
So where's the edge of the Earth?
Where's the edge of space? Because that's what we have to assume, right? Because you're assuming that there's a definite end, and it's like saying, is there a definite end to space? I don't know. I didn't think that.
People have like gone around there.
Not north and south. They've gone east and west, but they've never gone north and south. So, north and south circumnavigation actually doesn't even exist. You know what they call the world record for north-south navigation is go down to the South Pole, pitch over up, come up a little bit, pitch back, and that's north-south navigation. So what they do is they just take an oblong loop around the Earth, but they're not going around this way, they just go around the front side of it.
But since we can see,
so they're just picking one direction, going there and coming back.
Do you believe in like things that are heavier and lighter though? Because you were saying that this is like
density and buoyancy,
right?
Yeah.
So
it's
heavier
they're
and
like the
density
law.
are two different things, right?
Well, think about it like this. Density, all right, is the air itself. So the buoyancy of the object, if it's like let's say it's less dense than the air itself, then it would be buoyant. That would be its reaction, its properties in that physical environment. It would become buoyant. It would shoot up in the opposite direction. So density, then buoyancy is really just explaining the properties of density with the medium that's around it.
Buoyancy is a force that resists gravity by definition, right? So when you use the terms buoyant and heavier and lighter,
right? They're descriptive terms. They're not actually singling out forces, and that's what the point we're trying to make is that the force concept itself is fictitious. There is no force.
But the word you're using assume there's a force. When you say something's heavier, heavier means gravity's pulling it down. That's what the word means.
That's what they say it's a force. They say that because the ball's spinning through space, right? And you've been on a gravitron before, right? The ball, if you've been on a gravitron, you're on the inside of the gravitron. It's spinning and you're getting stuck to the wall. Right. So if you're on the outside of the gravitron, you'd fly right off, right? But they're saying the force of gravity, that's the force, that's doing the opposite. It's taking natural properties of that object and reversing them and causing it to be pulled to, or attracted to the mass. When in actuality, we don't have any evidence of this force whatsoever. I can take a lead ball that's like 1,000 pounds and put a feather, 5 feet away from it. That feather is never going to get attracted to that lead ball.
Well, it does actually.
Yeah, but
minuscule force.
Minuscule forces that can't be singled out or identified from electrostatic reactions or anything else, or even magnetism. So we can't even single out gravity itself on its own.
We can calculate gravity by figuring out how fast things accelerate towards the Earth, though, right?
Yeah, but like I said, you got to use a mathematical construct to actually describe it. Otherwise, there's no way of proving it exists. Well, math is just a description. I'm an artist, right? So if I paint something, does that me painting a painting of something make it real if I'm painting it from my imagination? Just because I can create a construct of how something works and describe it in my own language doesn't necessarily make that any more real. Because that's what math is, it's a language.
So yes, like you can assume that, well, actually there are proofs you can prove that like addition works. Have you read that proof?
Navigation?
No, addition. Like you can prove that math exists.
You can prove math describes reality, but you can't reverse engineer. You can't take math and create reality. You can't take the forces. You can't take math do math, and then the force of gravity
That's all.
exists.
Math is just used to describe reality.
It's just a description. It's a language. So it's like me speaking Italian about a fact that somebody else told me, and just because I'm using that language, you're taking it serious.
Yeah. But I mean, until you disprove the theorem, right? Because until you say that this math doesn't describe a pattern, people are still gonna believe it.
Well, here.
Theorems are always disproved.
Exactly.
We believed in for how many years, and then Einstein came around and said no.
And the burden of proof is on those making the claims, right? So they're making the claim that we're spinning on a ball in space, even though we can't prove that for ourselves, and they're not proving that.
So what about a picture from space?
So
You just don't believe they
have you looked?
Earth from
Have you looked at the pictures of space? Because I mean, I don't know about you, but they're not only changing color, but the land masses are changing, and there's even like clone clouds in the picture. Do you have it on this one? You can zoom in on these and you'll see like they took a stamp tool and then just made like more clouds. And they'll even tell you that these are pick stitched through satellite orbits of the Earth. So these are not even really photos. They don't even say photos, they call them images. So
you can't believe anything that you can't see?
well, not necessarily either. Because here's the thing, I can call my friend who lives in another country and be like, describe the world outside of you. Take a picture of it, film it, hand the phone to the guy next to you, have him describe it. I can prove it through those methods,
Is that just your
right?
good faith in taking whatever he's giving you as real?
Exactly, and that's why I can check multiple sources, right? But we're only getting our information from one source. You know, they say, oh, ESA and all these other countries are separate from NASA. But did you know that NASA is the one who signs the documents on all of their missions? So whoever's running a mission, whether it be SpaceX or ESA or whatever country, NASA's the one who's like, yeah, this is going down. So the only person you're getting that information from is NASA.
I'm a fire, survivor, 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 survivor. I'm a fire, survivor, 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 survivor.